right, y'all, welcome back. Yesterday, we talked about Arkansas's new defensive coordinator and how I think the structure of their defense is going to look moving forward. I said more 3-3-5, more blitzing, more man-to-man coverage. I think that they'll blitz probably over 40%, maybe less stunts up front, more stack in the box, trying to stop the run, things like that. So I want to show you inside the film room what that actually looks like with Arkansas versus Ole Miss. This is every single snap that they had in a 3-3-5 defense, running some type of a man coverage. So not just cover one, cover zero, but also cover two man, just like different variants of man, because you can run man with some zone concepts. It's something that Notre Dame does a lot of, and we always talk about Notre Dame's defense whenever we are kind of trying to figure out, hey, how do we stop an offense? I think that with Tennessee's new kind of like, pro style stuff that we're doing, man-to-man coverage is probably going to work a lot better than it would have versus the old school Art Browse base of a Veer and Shoot offense that we were running previously, right? So obviously Ole Miss runs the exact same offensive system that Tennessee does. Will be some differences from what Coach Kiffin does versus Coach Heupel, but this is going to be a pretty good idea. I'm not going to break it down too in depth, but just basically like one for y'all to see how they look playing man and how it's probably going to look for us coming up on Saturday. But y'all please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. This will be like one of the few videos that we can put out moving forward, and we'll still try to do it every now and then. But for the public on YouTube, where we're like really breaking down film because we can't monetize it. So, we still do it for our members. Y'all can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/Bluechip Breakdown. You can join us there for free. We have a lot of free content. You can interact with me and with P and with other people for free. But if you want access to like the film breakdowns, that's $1. And then you could join us on YouTube by clicking on the join button just below this video. You can also donate. So we have the Cash App QR code. It's going to be in the top right-hand corner of every video, but our Cash App is $Bluechip Breakdown. That's all one word. So we're still going live later on tonight, maybe at about 7:30. Hope that y'all can join us for that with Ruck from Straight Up Tennessee. Make sure y'all check his channel out. All right, so with all the plugs and everything out the way, let me go on ahead and jump into this film for y'all. So I'm not going to do the scoreboard copy. I'll just tell you what the down and distance is. So this is a 1st and 10. All right, we've got a 2 deep safety look. Okay, so yeah, so this is cover 2 man. Just means that playing man everywhere, but then you have 2 safeties playing deep. So you can tell down the field, everything's covered up. This is a secondary that I think plays man well. They have good size. That's one of the biggest parts of playing man is you want to have that height, have that length, be physical, be able to run. They have guys who can do all that. But also I think that linebackers are good in coverage. So you can see this tight end for Ole Miss. He's being covered up by number 14 right now. But what Ole Miss does is they throw it out there to the flats, to the other linebacker side, and the running back does a good job of getting some extra yards after the catch. So let me show you from the end zone copy here. Also, as I've stated previously, y'all, this Arkansas team, they're versatile. They got some big dudes up front. Number 95, who I think is right here, he's 387. I think this is number 5. He's like 323, 330. Their defensive ends are like over 270. I mean, they've got some big dudes. This is a 3-3-5. But now watch what number 10 does on this route once it crosses his face. Boom. Gets that bump right there. Boom. So it's things like that, right? Like that's just discipline, kind of like old school football. If something crosses your face, you're supposed to go hit that. Like nothing should ever just cross your face for free. So that's a good job. And so now 14 can pick that, he can pick that tight end up for the rest of the route. But now, you got 10, looks like he was kind of tired there, but he gets juked. So number 10, he's good out in space. He's listed at 6'3", 225. I don't know if he's quite that tall, but he's a guy that he's more of like a space player, but they were blitzing him a lot. So on this play, this is some stuff that Tennessee doesn't really do. We do it some, but we've got this orbit motion. Okay, this is an RPO. So, hand the football off here, and then you see that end comes in, takes a shot on the quarterback. Now, this is something that I think Tennessee needs to try to do, right? So on all that read offs and stuff, I want us to just go hit Taylor Green. Boom, just go blow his butt up. I think that's what we need to be trying to do because that's how you can get them out of running that type of stuff. People don't want their quarterbacks getting hit too much. You can see there's 5 guys up on the line of scrimmage, right? It's a 3-man front, but you've got the 2 edge players coming up. So this is really like a 3-4, all right? So it says it's a 3-3-5. I guess technically it might be, but the structure of it is a 3-4. So that's pretty good versus the run. So now y'all can see how that looks for Arkansas. I think that obviously that's their base defense. It'll probably still be their base defense. Now on this one, we've got a read option. Okay, so we got the jet sweep coming. Boom, don't hand it off there. But see, this is what I do like about what Arkansas is doing. It's not like you're really not taught to do this type of stuff, but just go hit somebody. Like if they want to do all this misdirection, hand the football off here, or I might keep it stuff, man, make somebody pay for that. Like take one of the people out of the play. It makes it easier on the rest of the defense to be able to come up and make the stops. I didn't tell y'all, but the last play was a 2nd and 5. This one was a 1st and 10. So sorry about that. All right, let's go on to this next one. This is just the end zone copy. All right, so slow it down here. Boom. You can see that their line does a pretty good job against some penetration there. Some big old dudes up front. But yeah, so whenever you can stack the box up more, running some sort of a man-to-man coverage, which I think that this might have been cover zero. Let me go back. Let's see. Yeah, so this is cover zero, right? Which means that you have zero people playing deep. All right. So y'all can see how that part of it looked. Now let's come on to this next one. This is a 1st and goal from the 2. Read option here, and then he skipped into the end zone like that. So this is something that I really think Tennessee should try to utilize, and we do a good job of it down in the red zone, right? Of using Joey Aguilar's legs. He's not the most mobile guy. He's not going to wow you with the speed and all that. But man, hey, look, you got to be feeling good whenever you're doing stuff like that. Like you're just skipping around. Yeah, we got that beat, just skipping around. So that looks great. You know, man-to-man coverage isn't always the best inside of the red area. That's a very positive thing. So keep that in mind too. It typically, to me, I feel like it works a lot better, you know, from this part of the field, right? Like from like 20 to 20 is when I think it works the absolute best. Once the field starts to kind of like shrink up, you might want to start running more zone just because the windows shrink up more. All right, so now this is another cover 2 man. So you got the 2 safeties playing deep. You got man everywhere else. So versus a cover 2 man, the middle of the field is going to be open. So it could be slants. It could be, you know, whatever comes to the middle. Digs, that's typically open. And then post too. If you can get a good route combination where you can occupy one of these safeties with a deep, like vertical route here, then that post is going to be wide open. I said I wasn't going to break it down too much. I'm trying not to. But I just want for y'all to know that there are answers to everything. Like you can't always just run man or run zone. Like it's got to be a time and a place. It has to make sense because there's a hole in every single defense. There's a hole in every single offense. That's why it's chess, not checkers. You know what I mean? So here, what we're going to have, they're only bringing 4, but this is a stunt by number 1. He's going to come over here. Then this defensive tackle, he's going to occupy these 2 blockers right here. So tight end and then this left tackle occupies them. I think Tennessee's offensive line is better than Ole Miss's offensive line, but you see, I don't know if that was a guard or who that was that tries to come over late to pick that up. Yeah, so that guard kind of comes, actually doesn't occupy this tight end because the tight end goes out. But it's going to be like this guard and this tackle. But this tackle tries to peel off on this stunt a little bit too late. They're not the most fleet of foot. That's going to be Wendell Moy. He's a lot better at that, all right? So dump it off to your running back. You know what I'm saying? Just dump it off to him. Doesn't really get anything, but it's better than taking a freaking kill shot. You might get hit anyway just because you're getting it out kind of late. But that's what cover, you know, 2 man or just most man coverages can do. The windows down the field are typically going to be pretty tight. This team is showing that they have the skill set, the personnel to be able to run it, and they can get the pressure. We haven't seen any blitzes yet. Maybe we did and I just overlooked it, but look, down the field, everything is pretty much covered up, right? So great coverage staying on top, great coverage here, great coverage right there, great coverage right here. Then you got a safety playing in the middle. This is cover 1. So Ole Miss is going to dump it off to this running back coming out of the backfield. They did a whole lot of that. And you can see that the running back's making them pay. So I think that's 14 that's covering them too. That's covering him there. He was covering, I think, we've seen him in coverage several times. But out of their linebackers, he's the one that you want to try to target. He's close to 250. He's really big. Like, look how big and long he is. He can move well, but he's not going to be the best with the suddenness, right? So I think that if we're going to try to target somebody in the man-to-man coverage, try to target him. Maybe they switch it up where he's the one that's not playing as much man. He's playing more of like a middle zone. That would make more sense to me. We'll see. Will they make that switch? Down the field, it's all covered up, right? Pay attention. Everything down the field is covered up. So the quarterback actually, and I love this, Joey Aguilar does this all the time. So throw it on the outside here to this fade, right? Just throw it up and let's see what happens. And Joey's going to give his guys that opportunity. Love Chris Brazzell in this situation. Thing about it is I wouldn't be surprised if they roll a safety over the top of Brazzell and try to neutralize him. I don't know if that's going to really matter too much. But guys like Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, Travis Smith, whoever else is out there, they got to be able to make these types of catches. This guy doesn't do it. So boom, let me take it back. Right there. That's got to be a catch, okay? Like in this game, we have to win individual matchups, especially on the outside. We talked about it briefly. We haven't talked about it that much, but it's going to be necessary because they will have pretty sticky coverage down the field. All right, that's a given. Let me make sure that we didn't. And you know what? I've been doing a bad job of telling y'all the down the distance. This one's 1st and 10. I think that this is the one that we just looked at. All right, yeah. So this is the 1st and 10. The previous one was the 1st and 10. The one before that was the 2nd and 7. All right. And actually, let's take a look at the end zone copy of this. Okay. So end zone copy. What are they doing? What are they doing? Only bringing 4. Only bringing 4. And because this running back stays in, now this linebacker comes. So that's part of the thing. You don't always just want to keep guys on the inside to block as far as the running backs and tight ends. Sometimes sending them out, that can help to stop a blitz as well. All right, so this is the next one. This is a 2nd and 2. Let me try to do a lot better with that. So now they are blitzing. You see they're overloading this side. These two backers, boom, he's coming. Boom, he's coming. Obviously, it's man everywhere else. They've got a safety that's showing some pressure, but then goes out late. So this is something that they were doing previously. I don't know how much they're going to be doing that moving forward, but they would come up with the safety inside of the box, and then he shoots out of there on the snap of the football just to try to disrupt that picture from pre-snap to the post-snap. You see the quarterback took another shot, has to dump it off to the flats. Let's see this again. All right, so we got 5 in there. Of course, you know, we're not playing Ole Miss, but 5's the running back. So, yeah, so, I mean, just based off of the play structure, tough for him to even be able to pick this block up because he's got to come over here on this fake and then try to peel back and get in there. But, I mean, he still could have done better than that. He didn't even, he's not even looking at it. That's pretty bad. So, quarterback takes a shot, make a tough catch. It doesn't really, you know, what was that really good for? Not a whole lot, all right? So, we got several more plays, y'all. So, we got a total of 19. It's every single one of them. So here, it looks like they're trying to run maybe inside zone. Could be man blocking, but you see like the misdirection and stuff, kind of showing some option stuff, right? Because they have a quarterback who is mobile. So a lot of times, just the threat of a quarterback, you take a couple steps over here, you see what it does? Occupies this guy, right? And then also this tight end's coming over. Occupy this guy. Occupy this guy. Little things like that, a lot of folks don't really notice with football, but it's a big part of it. It's a big part of how football is structured. Is you need to have playmakers that can kind of be decoys sometimes. That's part of the reason I'm saying, yeah, like using Joey Aguilar's legs is a positive thing. Now, you see, that's a big old man, right? Like, they just got a lot of big people up front, not super big, right? Like, we kind of talked about that. Let me see if I can get this thing to, oh, there it is. Boom. All right. So, good job just winning, like, the individual matchups. It's the same stunt that we saw with that defensive end number 1 coming over. You see, it's actually a better job by 5 really carrying that over to the right and getting guys out of number 1's way. All right. And I think that we'll hold up a lot better at the point of contact than what their offensive line just did right there. So, yeah, I mean, whenever you are playing that man-to-man coverage, it's a lot more run focused. You know what I mean? Outside of the quarterback's legs, that's where things get iffy and things get tricky at. Good coverage down the field. Notice everything's covered up. You got one person that's kind of open, you know, or, you know, he is open. That's a tight window. You got to make a tough catch. And, you know, whenever they're dialing up those blitzes out of this, which I think they'll do a lot more of, I mean, we're not really going to be able to operate probably down the field too much. You know, it's got to be some quick stuff. It's got to be some hot routes, which Cincy has now because we, you know, have different splits. Okay. So fast forward, one of the things that you can definitely do is, like we said, with the different splits. So this is kind of tight here. So this is a good way just to keep some off coverage. So this guy, because he's on the line of scrimmage, they can play press here. But for this guy, you really can't play press with 2 guys playing right next to each other. It'd be pretty easy to pick them off. So that's one thing that I definitely wanted to show y'all. Okay, so Tennessee does that. That's a good way to get some openings. Then you send them in motion. Obviously, you have the secondary player going with them. This is cover 0. I'm sorry, this is actually cover 1 because there is a safety deep. He was hiding from me. He was hiding. All right, so nothing's open down the field. I mean, you could maybe say this. I mean, really, yeah, that is open. So we could hit that. We got guys who can run. We got guys who can fly. If they want to play press, we're doing a really good job, I think, of getting off of the line of scrimmage. We got to be able to throw that. We have to be able to hit it. You know, hold the safety here with your eyes. Joey does a good job of that too. Then, you know, hit it on the outside. Hit that vertical route on the outside, right? Ole Miss didn't do a good job of that on this play, and that's Simmons playing a quarterback. I actually think that Trinidad, both of them are good. The thing about Simmons to me is he's very turnover prone. I mean, he will throw it. He doesn't care. Like, see, look here. He'll just throw it, dude. Like, he does stuff like this all the time. So really good coverage everywhere, you know, outside of the deep stuff. A lot of quarterbacks aren't gonna, you know, it can look like someone's covered up. Joey's not, he's not really like that. And I love him trying to throw it up in single coverage. I love that. Don't do it in double coverage. But if you got the single coverage look, yeah, give our guys that chance every single time. I'm going to bet on our guys every single time if it's one-on-one. We should win every single one-on-one matchup. All right? So here, again, you know, the coverage is good down the field. Obviously, they're giving up some ground here, you know, playing off coverage. So you have to run this kind of like in route is what that is, and just get it to them quickly. I haven't seen Tennessee run too many in routes. We run digs. Dig is just like a deeper in, and in is, you know, 5 to 7 yards or something like that. It's just like a really quick version of a dig. Okay, basically is what it is. All right, so let's go on to this next one. The previous one was a 1st and 10. The one before that was a 3rd and 6. This is a 1st and 10. All right, so now we got the motion. Same thing that I just talked about, right? Whenever you have them stacked up like this, especially with that motion, you could have a free release from this guy. I think that this is a run play, though. Yeah, so this is just like a quarterback power which Tennessee, we can definitely run this on a 1st and 10. Why not? We've only really run that, I think, in the red area. Good place to try to run it, but I'm not afraid to do it here. I think we could block it well, fit it up well. It's just with the numbers, because whenever teams play the man, and really in any coverage, the quarterback's legs, that's a big problem, and you should have favorable numbers there. All right. So this is a cover 1 look. You got the one safety playing high. The cornerbacks are playing off coverage and read option. So you can see, boom, the quarterback's going to hold up these 2 people here, just on GP, right? Like just on, hey, I could keep this. Y'all got to honor it. So it makes a little bit of a crease to be able to get up the field and get several yards, which is why I really like the read option plays. We're going to see a whole lot of that coming up this weekend versus Arkansas's offense. But as I've stated, I would love to see Tennessee's offense maybe run a little bit more of it. You have to be careful, though, because, Joey Aguilar, our passing offense is really good, but it's just having some different wrinkles. Like, you got to keep on adding, because people will find answers to whatever you do. So you got to have some answers that come off of that. All right, so pretty good job there. It was pretty well blocked. I think that we'll do probably a better job blocking. So this is a 1st and 9 from the 9. So I guess this is a 1st and goal. Okay, so read option. You can see, what are they bringing here? This is 0. They're bringing a lot of people. They're bringing almost everybody. Yeah, shoot, they brought like 9 on this, basically. How many are they bringing? 7 to 8. 7 to 8 is being brought on this. And on a 1st and 9, it looks like they're still able to get like a yard. So just kind of like falling forward. You can see big number 88. He doesn't typically play a lot for them at that nose, but he's kind of getting pushed around. I don't know why defensive coordinators have the audacity to, in the most critical moments, let's put in some of our backups. Now, why? I don't know why people are like, and some of the backups are good, but I would think that that's where you want to, let's have our guys out here. You know what I'm saying? But either way, so now we have trips. This is something else. If you're going to run 0, if you're going to run man-to-man coverage, you can get picked off, and y'all about to see it on this play. Boom. Okay, so running that slant here underneath this guy that's going to pick. Boom, or you can call that a rub, whatever. Tennessee can do this too. Everybody can do this. You just can't like extend your arms and make it obvious. Sometimes the refs call it, sometimes they don't. But this is why you can't always just run man, especially I think down here. It's really dangerous. You have to do it some, but it has to make sense. Like, this is why you watch the film and you game plan and you know what the tendencies are, and you know what you can make them do based off of what you're trying to do. You don't always want to just be like reacting to what they're doing. So, but yeah, like you have to be able to mix things up. So here, there's big number 95. Who, man, he's big. He's not the twitchiest guy, but boy, is he big. So either way, that's one of the things that Tennessee can most definitely do. We have some sudden players that can run those types of routes. I think that we're running really good routes too. So I love to see that. I'm proud of those young guys. I'm proud of all of them. But here we go, right? So cover 1. So here, what you're going to see, okay, yeah, no, so this is just straight up cover 1. Covered up pretty much everywhere down the field, right? Covered up down the field. And now what we have is quarterback just uses his legs. This is something that Joey can do. It's not going to look as good as this, but he can do it, on a 3rd and 13. Can you go and get us 13 running wise? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. You're going to have to pass that. So that's what we're seeing here. There's probably a hold or something down the field. And you know what? There were some other plays where there were some different like zone concepts that I think I might have overlooked them. So sorry about that. But on this one, Tennessee can also do this. Just some pre-snap motion, okay? And then try to outflank this defense and get out to the flats. Slant right there, okay? This is an RPO, I think, or it might just be play action, one of them. But either way, just natural rubs, I guess, from that standpoint, okay? Now let's go on to this end zone copy, and then I think that we have one more play that we'll go through, right? We'll just show you how things look with their front. They weren't really blitzing. They're just kind of sitting back, okay? So this is the last one, y'all. This is the last one. And they're playing bump and run, press, one high. Looks like they're bringing it. So they brought a little bit of a blitz there. They brought, how many are they bringing? 1, 2, 3, I think 5. So it's like they're bringing on those middle linebackers 5, and then it's manned up everywhere else. Looks pretty good. Now, this is something else that you can do versus man-to-man coverage. It's more of these like horizontal routes or like crossing patterns. Really good, hard to stop versus man. We didn't really have it last season. We haven't had it for like, I think whenever when Coach Golish, he was here, we ran a little bit more of this, but we still nowhere near how much we're doing it now. So, yeah, we can definitely do that. And then you just throw it to your guy and hopefully he can make the catch. You want to be accurate with this. I think that this one's a little bit behind this wide receiver. But fast forward, blocking's good, picked up everything, rolling out, love that. It's a little bit behind, but just, imagine this is Braylon Staley. If you throw this in the right spot, that could be 6 points, or Mike Matthews, or Travis. It doesn't matter who it is. If you give our guys that opportunity, they can take it the dadgum distance. But that's going to do it, y'all. I just want for y'all to see that, man, look, if they are running more man-to-man coverage, they've shown and proven that they can do it. They've shown and proven that the windows will be tight down the field. Expect more blitzes, expect different blitz packages that maybe could throw off our offensive line. We got to have those hots to be able to get the football out, and we have to, running backs and everything. We need to be laser focused, because while this defense, their stats haven't been great, it could, just look totally different coming up on Saturday, because that style of defense matches up well versus our style of offense. Now, the last thing that I'll say is that I think maybe we could go to that Veer and Shoot the way that we were running it last year. I would love for Tennessee to do something like come up to the line of scrimmage. Hey, is this man-to-man coverage? Okay, hurry up and shift. Really wide splits. Go back to the choice routes, because that's deadly versus man-to-man coverage. And, I would just like to see us add that. But with all that being said, y'all, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be talking to y'all a little bit later on tonight. Probably going to start the midweek chat at about 7:30. Okay, so hope to see y'all there. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.